And we've got some breaking news on the same story. Sources have told CNN News 18 that Gandhis and Congress will not put out any official candidate. So this is what we are bringing to you as per sources. We are being told that Gandhis and Congress will not be putting out any official candidate when it comes to this fight for the top post in the Congress party. My colleague Pallavi gets us more details. Yes, Pallavi.
Yes, so a clarity over here is and something which Jairam Ramesh himself put out yesterday in his detailed statement, that there are no approvals being given, no approval being sought. Anyone who really wants to contest the elections does have the right to do so. But what we are also picking up is that the Gandhis have made it very clear, particularly Sonia Gandhi, to all those who have been meeting her over the last few days and even those who met her yesterday, that there's going to be no such thing as an official Congress candidate. I mean, even Ashok Gehlot should not be seen as an official Congress candidate. If he wants to file his nomination papers, then so be it. It's up to the electors, it's up to the delegates who they really want to vote for. I know this is going to be largely seen as an official point of view, because behind the scenes there are always going to be several permutations and combinations. In fact, since morning also there have been people who have been going in to the election office to find out whether their name is on the electors list or not. What we expect is that from 26th, when the Navratras begin, that's when the nominations will start be coming in. Ashok Gehlot is also likely to be one of those, but the Gandhis are going to be remaining largely neutral. They're not going to be actively campaigning for any one candidate, because this does throw up a problem, because already the critics are saying that whoever becomes from a non-Gandhi, will the remote control still be with the Gandhis? I think the Gandhis at least want to send out the message, we are not going to be campaigning for anyone, we are not going to be recommending anyone or approving or disapproving any such name.
So, Pallavi, essentially, they are trying hard to pull this across as a democratic process. However, what happens to all that news about Sonia Gandhi endorsing Shashi Tharoor's name? What happens on that account?
Well, again, that has been completely rejected. I mean, sources close to Sonia Gandhi has said that in that meeting which took place, there was no approval sought, nor any approval given. So that's one news which certainly has been rejected by the Gandhis. The other important thing is, of course, the multiple resolutions which were passed yesterday. I think that's going to be a bit of an embarrassment, because that makes it look like, you know, will that remote control be with the Gandhis, or you're setting the stage up for a wild card entry from Rahul Gandhi to actually go ahead and file in his nomination papers.
So, Pallavi, what does this essentially mean for the Congress party? Not officially putting out a name, so that means anybody who chooses to actually contest for the big elections can go ahead and put his own candidature. Is that it?
Yes. You know, the biggest criticism which the Congress has faced is that there's always been a dynastic Raj. I think at this point of time, the Congress wants to blunt that narrative, and the Gandhis particularly want to do so. So if you give an approval for a name, then you know, I remember the same criticism which came in when Sonia Gandhi had recommended Dr. Manmohan Singh as the Prime Minister. For at least 10 years, it was believed that she was the one who was calling the shots. I think this time round, they want to change that narrative, that we are having elections unlike other political parties.
Okay. So, Pallavi, when we talk about the front runners, of course, there are these two names of Mr. Ashok Gehlot and Mr. Shashi Tharoor doing the rounds. You spoke about the resolutions that have been passed by 6 to 7 states approving of, you know, Rahul Gandhi's name as the Congress president. But the word from the party high command is something else.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, there was a statement which was also issued by the Chief Election Officer, that's Mr. Madhusudan Mistry, who said, and he told me this also, that, you know, the resolutions mean nothing. It's not going to have any impact on the poll process. If there are going to be more names, they are going to be allowed to contest the elections. And of course, it's going to be a free-for-all, a transparent poll process. More than one name means there's going to be a contest. If there's only one person, but naturally that person then gets deemed elected as the party president.
So why are they passed? If the resolutions are not meaning anything, then why are they passed with Rahul Gandhi's name? That is also the big question that the Congress must feel.
More than that, I would want to ask them this question is that if you are uncomfortable with these resolutions being passed by the state units, why isn't there any statement or comment which has been made by the Congress party officially yet rejecting these resolutions? Because if you allow these resolutions to exist, and you know, there were many states yesterday, today, some more states like Jharkhand also coming up, it will be seen as the Gandhis endorsing these resolutions, even though the Gandhis want to send out the message that these resolutions mean nothing much.
Right. Pallavi, thank you so much for all that input there. We're quickly moving on to